So how do you coach agents to balance high output with personal sustainability?
It's a matter of having the right stuff set up so that you attract the right people. So for me, if I'm going to attract productive real estate agents, I've got to be talking about things that productive real estate agents want to do. I want to talk about how to help them be more successful. Somebody can't see themselves living their life in your business or building their business inside your business, then they're never going to come see you. If you're at 2 and you want to be at 10, we can help you. If you got into this business and want to make $100,000 a year, we could show you how to do that. So if I could show you.
What does it really mean to scale with soul and strategy? In this episode of the Leverage Lounge, we're sitting down with one of the sharpest minds in growth leadership. Russ Lagan, Vice President of Growth for eXp Realty's US West region. This guy is known for not only his national impact, but he's also known for building real estate brands from 3,000 to 8,000 agents in just 24 months. And also his simple, powerful mantra, be followable. And if you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe or follow to this podcast so you can learn from big business leaders on how you too can scale without burning out. All right, let's jump in. Russ, what's up, man?
What's going on, brother? Hey, let's be clear, man. Like in that intro, I want to make sure everybody understands. I did it all by myself. Nobody helped me.
You're a superhero with no team. I like it. But you know what? Every superhero has an origin story.
Yeah.
I want to hear yours. Where did you start? How did you ultimately find your way to the VP of growth for eXp Realty?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you stand back and I don't know, man. Like I sit here sometimes, I'm like, how the heck did I get here? Haven't they figured out I don't know what I'm doing yet? Right? I mean, but that's the human thing, right? It's fail forward faster. Get out there, screw some stuff up and learn from it, and screw more stuff up and learn from it and screw stuff up. If you go back into your 20s, and I know you've had some times in your life, not that far back, remember the days when $10 was a big deal?
Yeah.
Like, I remember like when we were kids, you're like, $10, I got $10. Holy God, that was a lot.
I remember when cheeseburgers at McDonald's were 99 cents. And if you got a hamburger was 49 cents and the cheeseburgers were 99 cents.
Yeah. Yeah. So you go back in those days and like $10 was a big deal. If you lost $10, that was something you spent time thinking about. Right. And then you get to your teens and you're like $100 is a big deal. And you get to your 20s, $1,000, you got $1,000 problem. It's a problem. And then you get a little bit later into your 20s and you get in your 30s and it's like 10,000, 15, 20, 30, 40, you basically have 5-figure screw ups or 5-figure issues potentially. I always said in my 20s, I'm like, by the time I turn 40, I will have screwed up everything you can screw up. And then I turned 40 and I'm like, dang, now I'm just screwing up bigger stuff with more zeros attached to it. So you get into like the 6-figure and 7-figure screw ups, like some of the decisions we made in my later 30s and 40s, if you extrapolate it out over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, it could be $1 million mistakes, right? Yeah. So, and now, and then I turned 50 and I'm like, you'd think I'd get it, but like, again, like, we don't handle a conversation correctly and that brokerage doesn't move here. That could be a couple $1 million a year, that doesn't flow through the system. So that getting to the point where, you got it, and sometimes you don't. And it's like, and it's okay. I think, how did I get here? I'm okay with screwing it up. I don't ever screw it up on purpose. It's like, have you ever made a mistake on purpose? No. Like you did something with the best intentions, with the best ability you had and most thought through it the most you could. And then did you have an unintended consequence? Did you have an unintended result? Sure. Like I've never made a mistake. I've had unintended results. That's not what I was going for. But I think so many people, they're so scared to make a mistake, they just stop. And I don't know, like bravery or stupidity, dude, screw stuff up and own it. And learn from it and move on, right?
Be willing to bump into the walls and crash into some things along the way. Just don't break the whole thing, right? I think there's grace that's a part of that story, right? You have to be willing to give yourself grace, but then you also have to be able to have people around you that are willing to give you the grace to fail forward.
Yeah, it really is both. And I think surrounding yourself with the right people and being the person everybody knows you're all in on everything you do. So anything that's not a success or anything that's not a win isn't because your lack of effort, lack of knowledge, lack of ability, lack of trying, lack of preparation, lack of failures to get to the point where you can handle. Like for me now, if it doesn't close, it's not me. It's not me. Right? Like you get to the point where you learn enough stuff and there are times when you can say, well, if I went backwards, I could do that differently. But if I knew that beforehand, I would have done it differently the first time through. The only way I know that I didn't do it the way that was best for them is to find out that that wasn't the best way for them. And sometimes, like, you can make the most sense. You can make perfect sense, and the other person's just not ready. They're just not there. Yeah. It's not their moment, right? It's like, Mike, you ever bake anything?
Yeah.
You bake a cake, right? Like, I don't like baking at all. Baking is a precision game, right? You mess up a little too much flour, a little too much butter, a little too much shortening, a little too much anything, the whole thing's a mess, right? So you end up with basically putty or glue or something that's not, again, unintended results, right? I've had a number of failures making chocolate souffle. Now, that is one thing that I'm good at failing. And I'm telling you what, when you fail, it kind of turns into like lava cake. So it's not that bad, right? So
not bad.
Like, make things that if you screw it up, it's still not that bad.
That's right.
But if you pull the cake out and it's not done baking, what do? You just throw it in the garbage? You're like, I'm done. Throw it out? No, you stick it back in the freaking oven, right? And I think a lot of people don't realize there's times when you pull it out, you check it, and you're like, it's not ready yet. I pull it out and check it all the time. Like, people bring people to me, and I'm like, they're not done cooking yet, man. Stick them back in the oven. They're like, what? Like, it's obvious that they're not ready for whatever reason. They're not ready. And I think being the right person at the right place at the right time, it's all three.
We have people that are in real estate. You know, we have some big real estate players who listen to this podcast, but we also have people outside of real estate, just big business owners. We talk about leverage on this podcast, right? And how to go from small business to big business, and the levers that we pull along the way in order to scale without burning out. And so, what is your role? What does the VP of growth even do?
Yeah, so a bunch of things, right? Supporting the things that help people grow the business. Funny enough, I talk a lot about production, a lot about selling the product, and in real estate side, it's trading time for money, selling houses. It's you sell a house, you get paid, sell a house, you get paid, sell a house, you get paid. That's one of our recipes. And then the other recipe that we do that's unique within our ecosystem is people also equals cash. So being able to surround yourself with the right people. So sometimes people say, well, Russ, I don't want to build a team. I said, I don't want you to build a team either. Like, if you're not going to be directly engaged in the helping of them selling a house and closing a house and being involved in their business of selling houses, I don't want you to build a team either. But you can build an organization. So there are people that like to be around you, Mike, and to say, you know what? If once a week I did a training on how to sell more houses, are there people that want to be around that? Yeah. Do I want to be responsible for their day-to-day activity? Not so much. So could they be in an organization and build kind of like I like to call it like a minor league? Get a bunch of people around there. It's like, and at some point I could have 2 and 3 and 4 and 500 and thousands of people in there versus on a team with the actual application of selling houses. There is an upper limit. For some people, it's 3, 4, 5 people. For some people, it's 60, 70, 80. And then you get this combination of the two that makes it really unique, particularly within our industry, the ability to have both, basically have a team and have an organization. The challenge with a team a lot of times is the more people you get on the team, the more responsibility you have, the more liability you have.
Correct.
In building an organization, the more people you have, the more freedom you have. A team is scalable to, for most people, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Some of the real great guys are doing, guys and gals can do 15, 18, 20. I see some real absolute rock stars that are basically building brokerages within the brokerage. That's 50, 60, 70, 80 actual on the team. Some of the Zillow Flex teams that do a lot of lead generation stuff, they have, they can have dozens and dozens and dozens of people, and it just takes systems, right? Scalability is all about systems. So with those people, the more people they get, the more liability and responsibility they get. They don't get more freedom when they get more people typically. So with the organization, the more people you get, the more freedom you get, because you get the income without the boat anchor of having to do the time to make the donut stuff.
Right.
It'd be like, I own 500 Dunkin' Donuts, but I don't make donuts. Right?
Yeah.
It's a matter of understanding and figuring out what that scalability is. So funny enough, on my wall here, I've got this curve of a path for a career. And the first phase is like, I just need to make money, man. Like, I need to get to a number. And then when you get to that number, you move the bar and you're like, man, I should have aimed for that number. Then you get to that number, you move the bar again. And then you get to a certain point where you're like at an X number. And then somebody calls you on Friday at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And you're like, when you need to make money, man, you take that call at 7 and 8 and 9 o'clock on Friday, right?
Right.
Once you get to your number and you're like, time is most important to me. So that second phase is being able to control time. Like, I can't be everywhere all the time. I can't always pick up the phone. I'm not going to always I don't want to miss my kids' games. I don't want to miss the evenings. I don't want to miss dinner. I don't want to miss stuff on the weekends that's fun because other people didn't plan ahead. So you start to control that time. Once you get that money freedom and time freedom, in place, then you're looking for like ultimate freedom. Like, what is the ultimate freedom? It's like, how do I set myself like, I don't have to do this forever? And that was part of that ended up becoming chapter 12 in the book. Cause I'm like, you get all this stuff is like, get your time settled, work on the right stuff, then get you in the right space. And then once I get you in the right space, now we can start attracting the right people. And then once we start attracting the right people, and after we've done that a little while, you start to recognize everybody's in one of these 3, 4, 5 phases. Most people are stuck in one.
Right.
Some people, like if they're in one and you talk to them, Mike, the first thing I'm going to do is like, hey, like you got the money. So how about we get you to control your time where you're not working every evening weekend? How about if we get like make that amount of dollars and work less than 40 hours a week, or make that amount of dollars and work 4 days a week? You want to see people light up, right? If you speak to them about where they are and how they can move into that next phase, and they get super excited. It's like, if they're doing a pretty good job on the time and money thing, then the next part is like, okay, well, why don't we get you in a position where you're set up so you accelerate to that freedom thing? Mike, they'll go, well, Russ, I don't want to retire. Like, I'm not saying retire. I'm just saying you don't have to work. Your trading time for money is done. You do it because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. If you stop making dollars today, you can make it to the end comfortably.
Right.
That's
Right.
freedom, right? I'm doing it because I want to, right? For somebody, if you say, hey, I got $5 million in the bank, invested at a normal rate of return, let's say they yield 8%, 5 million at 8%, 5 times 8 is 4. So you got $400,000 coming in just from interest. Are you good? Can you figure out a way to make it on 400? And you, by the way, you never touch the principal. So you can spend 400 every year until the day you die, and you still have $5 million to gift off it when you're done. Are you good? Are we good? Can you get to that moment? Well, when you get to that moment, then you start thinking like, what do I really want to do?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you should be asking that question right now. Because here's the thing, when you're talking about leadership and you're talking about leverage, nobody wants to follow somebody that's just grinding it out.
That's right.
Like, oh man, Russ is working look at it. He's out in the backyard with a freaking shovel, sweaty, all beat up. Like, I want that in my life. Said no one ever. Right?
Right. Right. We're in a society right now where the hustle, the grind mentality, that hustle culture, I think is truly killing the entrepreneur. It's killing the aspirational individual who wants to build something and is actually looking out, whether it's on social media or wherever, they're looking for some type of example, something that resonates with where they want to be in life. And what you see is these examples of people who have the things, they have the shiny objects, they have the money, they have some of the freedom, but they talk about how they got there, and the way they got there was hustle, hustle, hustle. You got to work harder. And most people, if we're honest, they don't want that for themselves. Maybe even if they did want that, they have a family, they've got kids, they've got a spouse, somebody else who loves them.
Well, hang on, man. You got to be willing to sacrifice.
Right. That's what we hear.
Let's hit the pause button. What's the most important thing to you?
Time with my family.
Family. Yeah. I hear that all the time. And then I hear the prognosticators out there saying, you need to sacrifice, you need to, and like 5 a.m., the 5 a.m. club. I mean, listen, I'm not like, if you guys are 5 a.m. club, knock yourselves out, right? But if you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to be able to generate the income that you need to make to be able to do the thing that you do, I would say you need to realign your goals, because if you're sacrificing yourself and your family to get to those things, like, that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't think anybody at the end of their life says, man, I wish I'd woken up more and been more beat up and more tired and more dollars in my pocket. They're all like, I wish I'd spent more time with my family. I wish I'd been more present. Like, right. I know somebody, actually, you know this person too. This person every morning wakes up the family, makes breakfast for the kids, and sends them off to school every freaking morning. He's the best freaking dad in the world. You know this guy. His name's Frank Panunto.
Ah, love Frank.
Frank goes all in for his family. And he, like, I will say every day, I would say way more often than not. And I would say probably almost every day. He's dad. He's there. He's present. He cooks breakfast for the family every freaking morning that he's capable of doing it. When he's in town, he's cooking breakfast because that's his time, right? That's his connection time. So like, you've got to say, do the things that I do help me align with what's most important to me? And I will say, most people, money's not the number one most important thing. It is an important thing because it
Right.
gives you the freedom to be able to do the things that you really want to do with your family, and gives you the ability to say no to things that you don't want to have to do. But at the same time, are you doing the things that make it look like your family is number one, right? So
That's right.
let's get your, like,
Right.
stop lip servicing this thing. Like, if you got to be in bed at 8 p.m. and you miss every evening with your family, like, do the math, right? I love 4 Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss, which by the way, Timothy Ferriss is probably one of the hardest working people ever. It was funny because
Yeah.
I know somebody that knows him directly. He's like, yeah, dude, we're out on the boat. We got this long weekend planned. And we're like, Tim Ferriss is here, man. He's 4 Hour Work Week guy. And he worked the whole time he was on the boat. Like, so his book is bullshit. And he's like, no, it actually works. The mindset part of it works. He was on a tear to build something amazing at that point, and he just really loved doing it. So, but like, start thinking back. It's like, how do I make the number that makes sense for me, that serves my family, and also makes it so that I can be present?
Mhm.
It's all of it, right? It's D, all of the above.
And there's a way to do all of that. I mean, in your role, what's
Yes.
the biggest levers that you pull to accelerate agent growth in that region, especially at scale?
Yeah. Yeah, at scale. So, okay, so I'm on a bender right now, and I've got my team hunting this right now. Like, who in a market wants to do an event every single month? I was just in Atlanta last week. I owed somebody. I had a scenario where I had to actually bail out on something at the last minute, which is very unusual for me. And I was like, you say the word, I will be there. I will fly in. I will show up. You name something and I will be there. And she's like, I got this going on this date. And I'm like, I'm there. And she's like, are you sure? I'm like, I told you. I owe you one. I've got to be available, right? So I had been in LA and San Diego 2 weeks prior to that, Phoenix for the week before that. And I'm like, I'm there, right? I'll fly in on Thursday. I'll fly back out Friday night. And I did, right? And it was because she was going to do an event. And this is somebody that's like, I want to do an event every single month. So I want to grab people that aren't doing an event every single month, and they do an event to help people sell more houses and make a difference in this world, right? Non-branded. Not saying the company name at all. This is non-branded. It's to get people in there to help them sell more houses and be of value to your industry, right? So I want to find the people that want to do that every single month. So now I've got that one, and I've got the other, all of the other ones I've done. I've got November, 2 set up for November. These are people that want to do an event every single month. We'll get them in that system. And then every single month, they're touching 30, 40, 50, 60 lives. When you do it for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months, and people start to realize you're adding value, now you've got 80, 90, and 100 people. Some people like, well, Russ, I touched 100 people. I'm like, I want to touch 100 people that touch 100 people every month. So I touch 100 people that touch 100 people. That's 1,000 every month, which means 12,000 people had their life enriched by the things that we're doing. So when you start thinking leverage, you got to think multiplication, right? That's all leverage is multiplication. So like, I can do one-on-one calls all day. And I've been dragged into some of that more recently. And I'm like, guys, I can't do one-on-one calls. Like, I need to be talking to the brokers and the owners and the ones with 5s and 7s and 10s and 70s and 300s. I can fill my calendar with that. So I need to make sure I'm filling my calendar. There's a single agent. Great. That's not the highest best use of my time, right? Because I can spend that same exact hour working with somebody that's got 12, 14, 20, 50, 70 people, 300 people. So you've got to start picking and choosing. So like, when you're working in business, you got to start saying, like, what is the highest and best use of my time? Should I be touching houses that are under $300,000 at this point? Well, my schedule's full. If it's below 300, I'm not touching it. If it's above 300, I'm in, right? So you got to start delineating that, right? I can't make more dollars per hour unless I'm selling more dollar per hour stuff. It's like basic 101, right? How many bass guitars can you build in a year? 50. Well, if I want to make more dollars, I need to sell more $4,000 bass guitars than $1,000 bass. Like, I'm not building $1,000 bass guitar. They're $4,000, period.
Yeah.
That's it. So you've got to raise your price point, or first off, increase your quality first, then raise the price. Increase quality, then raise price.
Your bass guitars look awesome, by the way. I love watching you build those things.
Thank you.
If you guys don't follow Russ on social, you definitely need to. We'll make sure we have that in the show notes, but you do some great stuff. But you're also featured in EXP University's The Lab, where you talk about driving growth through personal production.
Yes.
Which is something that I think is very important, because I think when people hear, oh, VP of growth, that means just get more people and churn and burn.
Yeah.
You know, if they do well, oh, well. And if they don't, oh, well, right? Just get the people. I heard it said early in my career here at EXP, someone said, we're not interested in just having a whole bunch of heartbeats, right? We're not just interested in just warm bodies.
Yeah.
And so how do you coach agents to balance high output with personal sustainability?
Mike, it's funny because people say, well, Russ, you can either go for quality or you can go for quantity. And I'm like, no, you can go for both, right? It's like every time somebody gives me a choice, I'm like, D, all. Like, right? My brain automatically goes to like, why not both, right? So I want to go for quality first and then go for quantity. So like in 2020, you mentioned in the intro, helped build a brokerage from 3,000 to 8,000 agents in 24 months. And I jokingly said when I came out, I was like, I did it all myself. Like I had a team of people. It wasn't a billion people. So I had 15 people on the team, right? And we hired 2,079 agents in 15 months, just direct touch from the team. And then there's a bunch of affiliated stuff that goes with it. In 15 months with 5.8 per person productivity. So for those of you that don't know the real estate side, it's not unusual to have per person productivity in the 2s and 3s, national average, sub 5, right? So when you get to almost 6, that's double the national average, right? Cool. So people will say, well, Russ, you got 2, but like, you just got a bunch of people. I'm like, I got a bunch of people with a bunch of production, right? So it's a matter of having the right stuff set up so that you attract the right people, right? How do you catch a Goliath grouper? You don't catch it with a fly hook, right? If the hook's this big, you're not catching a Goliath grouper. You're throwing a hook this big at his face with a freaking chicken stuck to it, right? Yeah. But you're like, oh, you throw it a lure. You're like, I threw it a raw chicken with a giant hook in it, right? So it's a matter of saying, like, I've got to go fishing with the right gear. I've got to be talking the right stuff. So for me, if I'm going to attract productive real estate agents, I've got to be talking about things that productive real estate agents want to do. And like any business, right? I want to talk about how to help them be more successful. The talk track is never telling people how great we are. And unfortunately, we do this a ton in our business. It's not helpful to tout how great we are. If somebody can't see themselves living their life in your business or building their business inside your business, then they're never going to come see you, right? Yeah, I want to set it up so it's like, if you're at 2 and you want to be at 10, we can help you. If you got into this business and want to make $100,000 a year, we could show you how to do that. If you got into this business and nobody told you, by the way, we're going to try to force you and shame you into being a telemarketer, right? How many of you guys signed up to be a telemarketer? None, nobody, right? Nobody ever puts their hand up. I'll have 300 people in the room. How many of you guys thought your job was going to be a telemarketer? If you didn't do that, people are going to talk shit at you, to you the whole time. Well, you need to bang the phones. You need to bang the phone. I'm going to bang the phones right in your freaking face, right? Like, that's not what I signed up for. Okay. So if I could show you a way to build business without having to chase it and have it come to you, living a cool life, doing cool stuff, building bass guitars, making stuff on the barbecue, right? Like, I'm going to do things that gets people's attention and say, like, I want to live a life like that. I want to be around that. I want to be that, live that, experience that, right? It doesn't have to be about grinding it out. So we can have the scenario where we're throwing up a flag. I've got to become the best me first. And then when I become the best me first, people look at that and they're like, I want to look like that. Cool. Yeah. Well, if you want to look like this, follow me. Let's go. Here's how we do it. Some of
the core systems, the rhythms that made that kind of exponential growth possible and replicable?
Learning that, number one, none of this nonsense that I say is going to impress anybody. It's like who I am and what I do was what was getting my people's Mike, back in 2005, 6, 7, I was learning that people, like, you got to do this and this and this. You know where I got my business from back when I was selling houses? You know where my business came from, Mike?
People you knew?
Mountain biking.
Mountain biking. Okay. Tell me more.
I'm riding on my mountain bike. And I got Gary Ewell. I remember it like it was yesterday. This dude would find me and he'd pull up behind me and we're riding through the trails and he's back there peppering me with questions because he had questions about what was going on in the real estate market. Because back then the market was getting jacked, right? Yeah. He had a daughter that that wanted to move out of the house and they were kind of stuck and she'd been living there a little long. And he's like, when do I do this? When do I do this? And then he had Hunter was the guy that ran Ironman store. The first Ironman store ever was in Wesley Chapel, Florida. And I used to pop in there because I started racing triathlon too. I would pop in the store and Hunter's like, dude, don't leave without talking to me. Like, the people that I was doing things with that I enjoyed knew I was the real estate guy and they knew I'd shoot them straight and they knew I knew what was going on in the market. And Hunter had 3 properties that he was upside down on. And he's like, as soon as these things get back to even, I'm dumping all 3 of them. And I said, as soon as those things get back to even, you should keep them because now you can cash flow on them. And he's like, What? Wait, what? I'm like, let's sit down and talk through the numbers. He's like, why are you going to go through all these years of losing your butt to get to the point where you can make money and then you walk away from, like, just hold them for 5 more years, make up the 5 years you lost, and then sell them at a profit. And by the way, they're going up in price still. Like, why would you sell them when the price is going up?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, I just want them out of my life. I'm like, I get that, but let's have them in your life with intention to solve a problem, not create more problems. The problem is you've got them in your life creating problems. So we can keep them in your life where they're solving problems. Probably a good thing, right? So it's a matter of just being out there and doing the things that you do. And then people will ask you naturally, what do you do? Like, I learned to convert that conversation because, Mike, everybody and their brother teaches you when somebody asks you what you do, you tell them you're a real estate agent and you do them you do your elevator pitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is an elevator pitch? It's a sales pitch. Yeah. So if somebody asks you a question, you do a sales pitch. How does that go?
Not typically well, because you're talking
it's
at them.
unhuman, right? It's inhuman to sales pitch when somebody asks you a question and then you go into sales pitch and they're like, whoa.
Right.
The goal isn't to sell them a house. The goal is to get their info. I'm like, okay, cool. So your first interaction with somebody, you're trying to get something from them. How does that go?
Not good.
And we wonder why we have these adversarial relationships. When I show up to somebody and when I meet somebody, I bumped into this guy Saturday night, little friend barbecue thing, had a great time, goofing off. We played a giant Jenga thing, which was friggin' riot act.
Yeah, I've seen those giant Jengas.
Riot act, okay?
Yeah.
So we had a great time with that. And when I have interactions with people, I'm always trying to find something that I can give them. Like, I approach a relationship, what can I give you? Right? So when I'm talking to real estate agents, having conversations, by the way, I've got 8 modules on how to sell more houses, like a system on how to sell more houses. Would you like that? Yeah. Like, heck yeah, right? By the way, I've got a market update that tells you what's going on in the market. You want that? So Gary Yule's behind me and he's like, dude, hey, what's going on with the market? I'm like, I just shot a video on that. You want me to send it to you? And he's like, yeah. And then I hear 2 or 3 people, hey, me too. Right? Like, the 3 people behind me are like, they want my market update. I'm like, this is stupid. Next thing you know, I've got 543 people in Tampa that get my real estate market update. They were all people I rode mountain bikes with or raced triathlon with. Like, let's build my business organically doing things that I love. And then, the horror. I love sailing so much. Oh man, I gotta go sailing again. I build my business sailing. I make all my money sailing. I do only business with people that live in houses that sail. So I go to the marina and I hang out with people with boats all the time. And by the way, they're like, hey man, I need to sell my house. Cool. Done. It's like, I got to build my business. I got to go sailing more. Ooh.
That's right.
I got to build my business.
I need to do more of the things that I love with the people that I like so I can do exactly what I need to do.
Yeah. And if you show up as a resource and you show up with in the back of your head, what can I give to these people to make their lives a better place? What can I do to be a resource for these people so I'm of value to them? Then you don't approach relationships trying to get something. Like, I don't join that because I want to get real estate sales. I want to join that because I love sailing. And when somebody asks me what I do, I tell them what I do. And then when they ask me how's the market, I offer to give them something that shows them how's the market. I offer to give them like, hey man, do you have a hamburger? Well, yeah, I just put up a hamburger stand. There's a big sign that says hamburgers. And the guy comes up and says, hey man, do you have hamburgers? I'm like, yeah, dude, I got a hamburger right here. You want it? And then what do they say? Uh-huh. Yeah.
You've branded yourself around the idea of being followable.
Yeah.
So what are the 2 to 3, let's say, non-negotiable traits that every agent needs today to stand out and be relevant in such a noisy market that we're in right now? Because we still have a lot of real estate agents who are in this business. What needs to happen for these agents to stand out?
Yeah. So one of the chapters in the book that I wrote is called the White Buffalo Hunt. Right. So, like, here's the thing. We've got to be our unique. We've got to lean into being our unique selves. I kind of have groomed myself into, I'm a strange dude. Okay. I'm weird and I'm fine with it. Right. I build bass guitars. I forge knives. I'm a wild man with a barbecue. Like, there's not a barbecue that I haven't found that I love. I will cook something on a piece of dirt with charcoal, and I'll figure out how to make it happen. Right. So, like, and my thing is always like, just do it different. Like, everybody's like, you got to smoke it low and slow. I'm like, hot and fast. That's how I roll. I can do a pork shoulder in 5 hours and that little bone pops right out. Right. I don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing every single time. And I think the chapter White Buffalo Hunt is about the fact that every couple million births, a white buffalo is born. They're super rare. They're 1 in a couple million. right?
Yeah.
And Mike, I think, our school raises us when you're a little kid. I mean, think you got little kids, yeah? Well, you had little kids. They're not little
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. I
Okay?
know they're not
But when
so
you had
little
little kids,
anymore, but yeah, still 11 and
yeah,
7.
you're
You're
like,
right, Emmett.
hey, get dressed. We got to go. And your little girl comes out with one shoe, one color, one shoe, the other color. She's got her princess dress on upside down. So it looks like a flower. And you're like, yeah, baby, let's roll. Right. As long as you're covered up, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
And then you get them into school and the kids realize that standing out actually makes them a target. Right. And then you get to middle school and you really don't want to stand out. Right. And then you get to high school and you're like, I want to be different. And then you end up being different, just like all the other different people that are trying to be different.
Yeah.
Like you end up being the goth kid, right? There's a whole pack of these weird looking goth kids, right? And there's a whole pack of these weird looking band kids, and there's a whole pack of these weird looking jock kids, right? So
everybody's different, looking the same together.
Everybody's like completely unique outside of this group. Yes. But so they kind of find that group that they feel comfortable with. And the problem is then they get into college and then a lot of that gets beat out of them too. Then you get into a business. And if you're going to be a serious business person, you don't show up freaking goth, right? So the whole thing in society is shoving you down this vanilla funnel where you want to be different, but you don't want to be so different that you really stand out. Because if you really stand out, you're unhireable in a lot of professions, right? So with that said, you've got to start to find out, it's like, how do I figure out the things that make me unique? Mike, newsflash, you're unique. By the way, now, as we sit right today, you're 1 in 8+ billion. 1 out of 8 billion is unique, dude. Like, so we've got to start to lean into the things that make us uniquely us, and the things that we say that make us uniquely us, and the things that we do that make us uniquely us. So instead of trying to fit in, it's like lean into the things that are passionately really you, right? So like if you love pickleball, go all in on go like be chief picklehead, right? Like mountain biking, like go all in. I think most people don't go all in and really lean into the stuff that they really love. And if they took the time to do that, what they'd find is they became a better human being, and they'd be a better father. They'd be a better son. They'd be a better brother. They'd be a better husband for all of the people around them.
Yeah.
Like women do a horrible job. Horrible job. Ladies, talking to you. Yeah. I'm going to say this out loud. Yeah. Send your hate mail to Mike Collier at the Mike Collier, right? Send your hate mail to him. Like, but this is a truth, right? You do a great job of sacrificing yourself and who you really are and what you really want to be for everybody around you. Many of you do a horrible job of leaning into the best you. And when you lean into the best you and become the best you and take some time for yourself to lean into doing stuff for yourself and being stuff for yourself, you become the best mother. You become a great example of your children, how a strong woman can have passions in life and not just be a doormat and a house cleaner and a food provider.
Right.
Right. My dogs see my wife as a food source. They don't see me as a food source, right? So you've got to start to lean into those things that make you the best you. And then you become, by doing that, you become a better mother. You become a better wife. You become a better daughter. So leaning into those things that make you the best you really makes you start to stand out. Like, what are you passionate about? Lean into that.
Be passionate, be unique, right? Find your passion, be unique. What makes you better? What are you uniquely qualified to do and bring to the market that others aren't? Give me a couple more. I was looking for like 2 or 3.
Number one, it's like, and telling that story, right? Do not be afraid to tell that story of who you are and what you do, right? It's like, man, Mike, nobody ever comes up to me at the big convention and says, Russ, man, I love that real estate post. Never. And they're like, dude, that brisket, I licked my phone. Okay. Dude, I wanted to lick my phone, right? Open that door and watching that smoke roll out. Dude, I started slobbering immediately because I knew when that smoke cleared, it was going to be something dark, juicy, seared. I just knew there's going to be something amazing behind that smoke. And yeah, like those are the things. So like leaning into the things that you do and like be part of that, lean into that, right? Double down on that. Like for me, you very rarely see me without a shirt, tie, vest. Very rarely, right? That's funny. I just did a post yesterday. I told you about earlier. I did a post yesterday. We're doing a 10,000 step challenge and I'm out doing my 10,000 steps and I'm wearing a weighted vest. So I'm out and about in a vest, crushing it, right? I was soaked, man. That was a hard walk.
I'll bet.
I got 25,000 steps yesterday in a weighted vest. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So I'm on a bender. I haven't told my wife this yet, and she probably won't watch your podcast. No offense, but I'm on a bender. I got to get myself back in shape because I want to jump up Kilimanjaro or Cotopaxi or Cayambe. I jokingly have said for a bunch of years, I want to have my ass at 19,000 feet standing on my own 2 feet on the ground. Like airplanes don't count, right?
No.
So Cotopaxi's 18,997 feet, and my butt's about 3 feet off the ground. So if I stand on a little hill of snow, my ass would be at 19,000 feet standing, right? So it's leaning into things that are exciting and leaning into those things and like telling that story, right? And going all in. I think people half-ass so much stuff. Yeah, stop half-assing the things that are going to change your life.
It's kind of like find you, be you, go all in, and tell the story.
Tell the story. Tell the story. Because somebody out there's like, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. By the way, people send me pictures like, hey, Russ, here's what I did today. Guess what it is? Barbecue pictures. I get people hit me up on social media all the time. Hey, Russ, check this wood thing out. Like, I'm known more for being a wood nerd than anything else. Like, that's what makes people feel comfortable engaging with me.
Yeah.
People feel really comfortable engaging. Like, hey, I saw this and thought about you. You know how flattering it is for a random person that I'd say, I don't even really know this person, but they hit me up on social like, this made me think about you. And I'm going like, I don't even know who this person is. But
yeah, I've been there. I've had agents all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I follow you on social.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's awesome. They're like, oh yeah, I've seen you before. I follow you on social. Love that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking a lot of the lifestyle stuff, but you've also written for Inman, you've taught in EXP's ecosystem and you've created a lot of educational content. So how do you see content as a multiplier, not just for teaching, but for like recruiting and trust and retention?
Two things. I think in systems now, and I think in, jokingly, I'm going to give credit to Buddy Buck. Buddy Buck is out of Washington. He's at Duval, Washington. I had 3 conversations with him on his podcast, right? And he's like, holy crap, dude, this is a recipe. I'm like, yeah, no, that's the recipe, right? And he's like, no, but these are recipes. So like, I think in recipes, right?
Okay.
Which is like, take a little of this, add a little of this, add a little of this, add a little, like I'm always making stuff up. They're like, where did you come up with this 5 cheese, corn, bacon, crunchy delight? Where did you come up with this? I'm like, I winged it, man. Like I spent 3 hours that on Saturday and man, it came out great. They don't always come out great, but that one turned out really great. Right. Yeah. So now I'm like, well, write that down. Right. I start thinking in recipes and I start thinking in processes. And I think for me, I'm always trying to find a solution for somebody. So for me, I've got a number of things like, you know what? People love this, Michael. Like every time I go out there and I'm out and about, I'm like, hey, by the way, I've got a little picture here that shows what the appreciation was in the last 5 years. Because people are talking, like I'm losing money on my, you're not losing money on your house. By the way, in Florida, you're in Florida. Here it is, 80.9% appreciation in the last 5 years. So yes, while you may not be getting the top dollar you had a year ago, you're still up 80% from 5 years ago. Yeah. So maybe you're up 70% from 5 years ago. Oh, the horror, right? So you're not losing anything. And by the way, over 40% of homeowners own the house free and clear. Homes, 0 mortgages on them, right? So that number is the highest it's been in forever, right?
Yeah.
So just having little parts and pieces like that and having nuggets like that. So I think in like every time I interact with somebody, it's like, what can I give you?
Yeah.
It's like, and can I turn that over? If somebody asks me the same question a couple of times, I'll shoot a video on it, right? And the things that I do and the things that I put out there, the 4th phase in career is legacy. Most people don't realize is that you're building legacy now. Like, dude, if I drop dead, got hit by a bus tomorrow out with my 25-pound pack on, I'm going to make a hell of a dent in the front of something. But with that said, if I got smacked by a bus, dude, the amount of content that I have out there that will outlive me, dude, I've got bass guitars right now that will probably be around 300 years from now. Because if you keep it reasonably humidity controlled, they found wood in dry environments in the pyramids, 2,000 years old, right?
That's right.
So a bass guitar that I built could potentially still be around 200 and 300 years from now if it's taken care of, right? Wow. So have I done some of the knives that I've made? They will be around 500 and 1,000 years from now. The handle might fall off them, but the actual blade itself, barring them throwing it in the yard and burying it, if you leave it in a drawer somewhere, 1,000 years from now, somebody could sharpen a knife that I made to cut something with it, right?
Wow.
So what are you doing and what do you do that actually makes a difference? And what are you doing that's sustainable? What are you doing that's leaving a mark and makes a difference? And if I can make a difference and then have 5 people use that, and then they let 5 people use that, and then I've got like 2,000 people that have my Jumpstart Masterclass link just like 2,000 people had been like, here, free. I've only had that thing floating around 2 years or so.
Yeah.
I've given it personally to over 2,000 people, and it's literally a system on how to sell more houses, doing stuff and having fun and living a cool life. So what are the things that you're doing that can make a difference, and what are the things you're doing that are multipliers? So stop just saying stuff, put it out there in the world, right? Build a system out of it, build a recipe and put it out there, and then show somebody else how to cook it.
That's so good, man. This episode is sponsored by smarthireva.com because you don't need to hustle harder.
Agreed.
You need to hire smarter. And Smart Hire VA connects you with trained virtual assistants who help you to scale faster by handling the busy work that's blocking your growth so that you can be creative and create things that you were created to create and let everybody else handle the admin and the marketing and the content. And so you can get, connected with a rock star virtual assistant today. You can go to leveragewithmike.com, find out a little bit more about it, check out some of the past episodes, and schedule with someone on my team. We talk to you about how we can help you to do some of the same things that Russ is talking about and pulling these levers to scale to the next level. Because again, as we're talking about this, Russ, you've built brokerages, trained teams, you've led growth ops across regions. You kind of jokingly said, and I did it all by myself, because you know for sure that it takes a team. It takes good people, quality people around you. And so I have a question. What's one foundational system that you wish every new agent and every mid-level leader, let's say, had in place from day one?
If you're going to be a real estate agent, transaction coordinator, so I'm not a paid advertiser for this, but like when I started in the business, I realized that like I'm better off on my mountain bike than I am chasing around a schedule for a home inspector, right? So like getting somebody to handle that contract to close, once you get that thing under contract, there's not an additional dollar being generated, period. It's all dollars being spent. So when I look at how many dollars can I generate per sale, like if I could pay somebody $400 to handle 20, 30 hours, that's $10 or $12 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would I be doing like I want to make $300 to $500? I want to be making $500 an hour. If I time my time up with $10 an hour stuff, I can't do $5 an hour stuff. So I can't be doing $10 an hour stuff if I want to make $500. So I've got to get out there and do the things that make $500. But you got to get to the point where you're like, I know I can go out. Like for me, it's meeting people, adding people to my sphere of influence. Every single week, I need to go out and do stuff that I bump into people, go have some fun doing it, and make sure I'm collecting information and make sure I'm adding people to my sphere of influence. If I say there's 2 steps to build a whole real estate business that is unstoppable, add people to your sphere of influence every single week and track it, and then add value to those people twice a month. At least twice a month, do something. Here's something for you. If you just do those 2 things, your business and your life will change, period. My best year selling houses, 143 closed. 1 full-time, 1 part-time person and me. The reason being is we tagged an investor. I tagged an investor from my sphere, somebody I'd taken care of. His name was Jordan. Jordan's like, dude, I need somebody who can handle this. And I'm like, I just quit my job. He's like, you're what? You're my guy. And I built systems to be able to scale that and put 100 plus houses 4 years in a row, boom, 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 like clockwork, right? With next to no people. But I have to be working on the $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour stuff and let my people work on the $10 an hour stuff.
I think that's important because you don't have to give away everything. You don't have to delegate everything. The things that you love to do and the things that you're best at are the things that you should be doing.
Never delegate your bike ride. Never delegate your pickleball. Never delegate your bowling team. Never delegate time with your kids, right?
Right.
Exactly. By the way, kids are a super unfair advantage.
I know.
You can go out to a freaking playground and hang out with your kids all day. I do that with no kids, and they're like, who's the creepy dude over there staring at my kids? Like, I can't get away with that. Like, those kids are mine. Like, do you have kids here? I'm like, no. And they're like, what are you doing here? It's like watching. Never mind.
And why are you wearing a vest?
Yeah. 90 degrees out, dude. Really?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, find those things that make you uniquely you. Get involved with stuff that your kids want to get involved in. And you're hanging around with the parents, and parents are like, hey man, what do you do? Right? Lean into that. It's a lot easier than you think.
My barber also is a real estate agent, has his real estate license, and partnered with us here at EXP. And that was one of the things that he talked about. He's having some really early success while still being kind of more of a part-time barber now, but leaning into becoming a full-time realtor. And he's had other agents who've been a realtor longer than him asking him, dude, how are you doing it? Like, you're killing it. What are you doing?
captive
And he goes, I'm
audience.
doing exactly what my mentor told me to do, and this is something I tell all agents is have more conversations and turn more conversations into real estate conversations. And every time you do that, you will cash more real estate commission checks.
Agreed.
I mean, that's it.
That's it.
I saw him yesterday and he goes, when I go to my kid's soccer game, he has a son that's in soccer. The parents of the other kids, the coaches, guess what? They all know what he does, right? He cuts hair. That's a lead magnet.
Yep.
Because he loves to do it.
Yep.
He's not delegating that out. He's still doing it.
Yep.
And does it well. And then he also has conversations that happen to turn into real estate conversations that happen to turn into real estate commissions.
Yep. I was a licensed hairstylist in my 20s.
You still got it.
I worked in a hair salon for 5 years, 6 years in my 20s.
There you go.
Yeah. Fun times, baby. But yeah, it's making connections. Bartenders, by the way, great opportunity. Don't quit tending bar. Like, as if it's not a rambunctious wild zoo and you actually get to have human conversation with people, that's the best thing in the world, man.
Absolutely.
Like you can build an amazing business doing that. It's like lean into those things that make you the most unique you. I do this for fun and I do this for money. And by the way, my day job is this. And people go, cool, man. A lot of people actually, they're like, well, wouldn't they think something bad? Like, no, man, people want to work with people that are hustlers.
Yeah. This is an important conversation, not just for brand new agents. I know some of you who are listening out here, you're like, well, I've been in the business for a long time, dude. You're talking to people who are just brand new I've been doing this for a while. But here's the thing. How does it feel to you? Does it feel like you've built a prison for yourself?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, are you in a position right now where you're feeling like if I don't sell more homes, I will go broke? I have to keep on selling homes in order to, right? And so now everything becomes that hustle that we've been talking about. Maybe this has been 4 or 5 years or 10 years in the making for you. And you're listening to this going, dude, I'm way past that. And we're like, well, are you though? Are you? Is it ever too late to build something better? I think what we're saying is no, it's never too late to build something better. It's wise to begin building something smarter.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are watching you and who are inspired by your success, who want to have some of the same level of success, but they're looking at it and going, but I don't want it like that. I want the money. I want the things, but do I have to go through the exact same thing? Do I have to do it the way? Because I see you and you're traveling all the time. You're never at home. The kids barely know your name. Like, I don't want that. I say all the time, a lot of and you know this because you talk to a lot more agents than I do, right? The sad truth about real estate is that most of the top agents in the country are on their 3rd and 4th marriage. Most of them have a divorce in their past.
Yep.
I don't think it's coincidence.
I got 31 years for me.
31 years?
All to the same woman.
That is
good. You got to qualify this. Oh God, 7 wives, 31 years.
Yeah, right.
31.
It's like a real estate team with 50 years of experience and all of them have only been around for, 5 years.
Yes. It's like, and by the way, 31 years experience, when somebody quotes their experience, doesn't mean you didn't do year 1 31 times.
That's good.
Right.
So what do you attribute that to, Russ? What do you attribute that to? How were you able to get all of these things done, the success that you've had, the things that you've built and are still building, having the personal brand? It feels like you're living a good life. Obviously, we always would love to have more fuel on the income fire.
Yeah.
But how have you done that and still sustained a healthy personal and family life?
It's funny because I'd mentioned this I was talking with Jarek Robbins on some show that I was hosting at some point, right? Super great dude. And I was like, well, how do you get into balance? He's like, you don't want balance, you want harmony. Like, what? Like, think about harmony. You know a little bit about music, right? It's like balance would be like, if I had a piano, it's like balance would be like, C, 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 D, 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 C, C, D, D, C, C, like equal C's, equal D's, right? And in fact, when you're thinking music, like the most amazing music isn't like 2 C's, 2 D's. It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 notes. Like, instead of thinking it's like one or the other, it's like both, all of them. And then add the other thing. Like, I'm Russ, the real estate dude. I'm Russ, the husband. I'm Russ, the brother. I'm Russ, the son. I'm Russ, the barbecue dude. I'm Russ, the wood nerd. I'm Russ, the bass guy. I'm Russ, the knife forging guy. I'm Russ, the leather making guy. I'm Russ, the furniture builder. Like,
how do you make time for all of it?
being clear on what's important to you, right? So like you make time for the things that are important to you. So when you say, does my wife feel like she's the most important thing in my world most of the time? And you're like, dude, I travel a lot. I'll be 90,000 miles or so this year. Okay. So, flying. So with that said, people are like, well, your husband's gone all the time. It's like, yeah, but when I'm present, I'm really present, right? So does my wife feel like she's the most important thing to me? Even when I'm not here, does she feel like she's the most important thing to me? And the answer is yes. I mean, if you ask her, do you feel like you are the most important thing in Russ's life? And she would say yes. And you're like, well, you're pretty confident saying that, Russ. I'm like, yeah, I know because I ask her, right? Like, do you feel like you're the most important thing in my life? And it's not all the time, right? It's not all the time, but it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Is it 100% of the time? No. It's not 100%. It can't be 100% of the time. But I also understand that like anything north of 80 is pretty damn good. Like, Mike, I don't even like myself 100%. How can I possibly like somebody else 100%?
Right.
Right. So understanding like there's good, there's great, there's amazing, and then there's untenable standard that's unachievable, right? So when I learned to not hold myself to an unachievable standard and then beat myself up for not being perfect, I learned that great was pretty damn good. Like I lean into great. I don't focus for perfect. Perfect is unattainable. It is not a standard you want to hold yourself to. And now there are certain things in certain standards, like cheating on my wife. I got a perfect record. Right.
Yeah.
There are things that I'm going to be perfect on, right? I have never murdered anybody. I'm perfect score on not killing people. Okay. But aside from that kind of stuff, it's like, am I always on every day? No, there's some days I'm an asshole. There's some days I want to get away from myself. I wish I could get away from myself. That's just human, right? I'm not always mentally perfect. I don't always have perfect mental stability every day and say like, I got everything nailed. There's times when I just grouse around and think some days just suck. Right. And there's some days that I've figured that out and go like, okay, well, don't let that 5 minutes ruin my whole day. I don't let other people ruin my day as much now. There are occasions, right? But I'm not bulletproof. I have days where you're like, that day just sucked. You sit back like, I got to do that different tomorrow because that was a shitty day.
You learn, you get up and you do it again. You go get it.
I had a shitty day and I let it stay shitty. There's times when that happens, right? So we don't always get it. We don't always nail it.
Yeah.
But my thing is like, if I'm like in business, if I nail 4 out of 5 days, it's a successful week. If I nail 3 out of 4 weeks, it's a successful month. If I nail 10 months out of 12, it's a successful year. Do I have to have 12 successful months to have a successful year? No, I can have 2 losers, right? Do I have to have all my stocks win every time? No, I just need to have more of my stocks win than lose.
And you got to stay in line. You got to stay in the fight.
Blackjack. Go play blackjack, man. You want to win money? You got to win 51% of the time. You're winning money, right? There's no such thing as 90. It doesn't work like that. So we've got to start to be nicer to ourselves and be more forgiving of ourselves and more compassionate to ourselves and those around us. When you're like, sometimes you just don't nail it, you know?
Yeah, no, that's good. Let's move on to our lightning round.
All right.
You got a lightning round. I'm going to put you in the hot seat and I want quick fire answers. No overthinking. All right. We're going to go at it. But however, I always give this caveat that when I ask the question, you can give me the answer. And then if we need to go deeper, we can go deeper. Okay.
All right,
so
cool.
we'll at least do that. All right.
So we'll take a sip of tea.
You ready? Okay. Favorite leadership book?
The Big Leap. Gay Hendricks. It's not a leadership book. It's a book on how to actually get past that glass ceiling, the things that stop yourself. You get to those moments where you're really close to making that next move and then you stop yourself. So it really is, I consider it a leadership book, even though you wouldn't find it in leadership.
Okay.
Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Yeah. Stop limiting yourself.
Love that. One daily ritual that keeps you grounded.
Sipping tea.
Sipping tea.
Yes. You will see me all the time with hot tea. Yeah, pinky up. Absolutely. Yeah, no, coffee wasn't serving me. It's like, I'm not saying I'm anti-coffee, but like coffee wasn't serving me. It didn't make me feel great. It'll get a little jittery after a little while, but like sipping tea is just a kind of a ritual. And it's just that you have this sense of calm, and I associate with sipping tea with relax and chill, and I'm wound up. So reminding myself to be slightly less wound up is important.
That's pretty cool. What kind of tea you like?
Black, pretty much black tea. Although I started a thing for chai. So I had a couple of interesting chai teas in India, of all places.
Okay. So I really began liking chai when I worked on the Disney Cruise Line because you get this international crowd out there and it's really good chai. Yeah. And then for the first time I started putting milk in my tea. I didn't.
Yeah, I never do that. But with chai, chai with milk chai with milk just makes sense. There's something about it. But regular tea, black, nothing in it, just straight up black
Straight
tea.
up.
Like the thing for me too is I'm talking all day. So like when I'm on Zoom, like I'm engaged like this all day. And when you do 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of this every day, my voice will turn to hamburger. So I learned just sipping on tea all day keeps my voice better, longer.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. All right. First real estate memory or deal that shaped you.
Oh, Lord. My first real estate transaction, I showed up at the first closing. I had gotten a deal with somebody that I'd, played around with, knew from kitchen bath business. I had one of those weird mornings where I just didn't feel right. Something was odd. And I sat down at the closing table and I sat down and grabbed a cup of coffee and we're waiting through this process and my blood pressure spiked to the roof and I ended up in the ER.
Oh,
so I think it was a combination of the stress and the uncertainty and the weird feelings and just something fired off. And I thought I had a heart attack.
And how did it shape you?
I realized that sometimes you can just get blindsided. You got to be aware you can be blindsided and you got to do a really great job of taking care of yourself. I wasn't doing a great job of taking care of myself at the time. And I realized I've got to really do a good job of taking care of myself. I'm going to stick around for any length of time. So not being understanding of how important taking care of yourself is and letting it go to a point where you end up in an ER and they're doing a stress test trying to figure out if you had a heart attack or not. Right. It's a combination of stress and frustration and all the rest of the things that go with it. It's like your physical part of your body is super, super important. Like a lot of people don't take care of themselves physically. That's why I'm reasonably fit most of the time because I know that my body is important. And
That's right.
I was like, man, I got to pay attention to this. It was a game changer moment. It's like, I got to really pay attention to this.
You might not last as long as those bass guitars, but you can give it a run for its money.
I'm not going to last past. I'm not going to outlast them.
Underrated strategy that agents should be leaning into right now.
Yeah. Doing more stuff that's fun. Like we talked about that earlier, lean into doing the things that are fun, do things that are fun with people that enjoy doing the same stuff you enjoy. And you're going to be like, all of your people are weird, just like you. The boat people are weird, just like the boat people. The triathlon people are weird, just like the triathlon people. The mountain bike people are weird, like the mountain bike people. The bowlers are, find your weird and lean into it.
That's good. All right. Last one. Here we go. What's the biggest misconception about growth?
There's a direct correlation between what I do and what I get. I think there's a strong delay that I think people think they can eliminate. And there's never not a delay because there's inputs that you do and people take time and they've got to marinate. It's just like making a really great bourbon. You mix that stuff up, throw it in a barrel and take it back out the next day. It's going to be crap, right? Bourbon takes time to get good. Wine takes time to get good. Good relationships take time to get good. All the best things in life take time. And when you realize that the beauty's in the follow-up and the follow-up and the follow-up, you feed the funnel in the beginning and then follow up and 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 be okay with that delay. It's like when you know it's coming and you know the input will equal an output, but there's a delay of 12 months, 18 months. When I get a new recruiter, if I see production and closes and things people happen and moving in the first 3, 4, 5 months, that's good. If at the 6-month mark, they don't have some movement, we've got a problem. But I'm going to be super, super open to if you got next to nothing for 6 months and things start firing up, cool. Because it takes time. People take time. You've got to add value, add value, add value, add value, add value. And then people put their hand up and hey, wait a minute. Wait, you got hamburgers over there?
Yeah.
Dude, I've been advertising hamburgers for 6 months.
That lag cycle is important to understand that it's in business and in life, right? So we focus on the leading indicators. You could have done everything right, but it may have taken time for that baked good to come out right, coming out of the oven.
Yeah, at the 3 months.
So let's get into the 5% rule. What is the one thing, just 5% of your day or business effort that produces disproportionate results for growth leaders like you? And I think I know what it is because we've talked a lot about it, but what do you say it is?
Well, actually, funny enough, mindset. I would say the mindset is number one. That's 5. If you spent 5% more of your time working on getting this going in the right direction, focused on the right things and telling you the right story, every time I say, what if, it's 2 of the most powerful words in the world. Because what you follow what if by can change your trajectory of your life. So what if things go bad? What if I crash the car? What if my son does? What if my daughter does? What if my wife does? What if things go well? What if things go amazing? What if I could live my dream? What if I could earn the number that I want? What if I could work less hours and make more money? What if I could set myself up on a path to freedom where I don't have to do anything anymore? I could do what I want, when I want, how I want. See, what follows what if is the key to life. You control that.
You're absolutely right. I love that. Great methodology as far as mindset and reframing, reimagining what our possibilities are. Because when we start thinking about what our possibilities are, that's where hope lies. And hope is what keeps us alive longer, keeps us healthier. It keeps us going, and having that positivity matters too. So Russ, before we close out, I want to give you the mic. I want to know where people can connect with you, let them know where they should check you out next, and tell us about the Be Followable book or anything else that you're building that our audience needs to know about.
Yeah. So here's the book. Here's the cover of the book.
There it is.
Be Followable. Look like my whiteboard. I'm known for stick figures and whiteboard and doodling things out to keep them simple. So the book is super simple. Starts off with starts off with open up a little time. You ever read a book and they're like, you do this is like first chapter is like, let's free up some time. And then with that, let's work on the right stuff versus on the business versus in the business, work on the right stuff. And now we've got some time working on the right stuff. Now we can start making adjustments, adjust me and adjust who I am, and then become the best you so that people want to follow you. So that really is the forte of the book. It was a book on leadership that turned into a book on how to make you the best you so that people follow you. I'm like, it's not a leadership book. It's a book about being followable. Right. So that's how that came about. So befollowable.book.com. You can go there and check out the book. It's also available on Amazon. I've got the Be Followable podcast, which you can tag on Spotify. Just type in Be Followable. And of course, on socials, Russ Laggan, RUSSLAGGAN on follow. So mainly play on Facebook and Instagram. And people are welcome to check me out, connect to me there.
All right. Awesome. Well, we'll have that all in the show notes for you guys so you can connect with Russ, go buy the book. It sounds like, I know that there's a lot of people who need it. There's a lot of people who need this message and just want that reset. Yeah, we all need it. We all need it.
Yes.
And so thanks for being here. Let's keep building what matters. Yeah. That's it for this episode of the Leverage Lounge. If you got some value from this, drop a comment. Let us know. Hit the like button. Share this with a fellow entrepreneur, fellow agent, fellow business owner, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can catch all my episodes at leveragewithmike.com. And be sure to follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Well, until next time, build smarter, lead bigger, and keep using leverage to level up. Let's scale smarter.